Heyo!
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Jedi J, you're gone. Where are you at? I'm missing your face there. Anyways, we have a very special show ahead here. Matt and Jeff Hardy, thank you so much for joining us. Truly
Yeah,
an
man.
honor. Why not? This is a big moment for us to have you here. We're so excited that you're a part of the show. Get right into it. A big week ahead. Spartanburg, South Carolina. You guys got your hands full here. Going to be facing ABC on Friday.
Yes.
We know all about TNA. We've interviewed a bunch of people. You know, Ace and Chris Bay are definitely no joke. And then Saturday, the following day, you're teaming up with them, and you're going to be facing the System. And we've interviewed a bunch of people on the System. They are not the nicest people, as we know. They tend to cheat at times. How do you gonna make sure that you pull off 2 W's this week in Spartanburg?
It's going to be challenging, especially the first night. We don't want to rough our tag team partners up the next night too badly on night one on Friday.
Right.
Whenever we go to war with ABC, and we will, because right now everybody is fighting for the TNA World Tag Team titles. Hopefully, we don't rough each other up so much so we can be a strong unit against the System the next day.
Absolutely. The System, they have all kinds of arsenals. They got Alicia outside. As a tag team, you know, a lot's changed in TNA. I actually did my college internship in TNA. I think back in like 2004, way back when, in the Stone Ages, as you would say. And you guys have been wrestling in TNA, you know, in and out for a long time. How would you say that the tag team division has changed from back then to how it is right now?
A lot of different teams, but right now the current teams that are there, like you have the Rascals, you have ABC, you obviously have the System. Like when you talk about Rascals and ABC, they're a little smaller, they're faster, they're really innovative in the maneuvers they do and whatnot. So it's just kind of, they picked up the pace of the tag team division.
Absolutely. The Rascals are definitely no joke to be. And if I see ABC, I see the Rascals, it reminds me of like you guys back in the day with the fast paced wrestling. Do you still want to keep that pace going when you're going against someone like ABC, or have you changed it up to where you're going to use your veteran maneuverism, so to speak, to get the W's?
Yeah, not necessarily. I've been watching a lot of old matches from the 80s, like Freeburg's, Von Erich's, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express. And I'm learning a lot from watching those matches. And I really feel like a lot of that stuff I saw in those matches can be recycled and really like added to what we do in the ring. And I feel like it will be. So yeah, we're gonna keep it cool and keep our pace the way it is.
Awesome. It's such an honor to have you guys on. I've been watching you for so many years. You know, Broken Universe, the final deletion, those kind of moments are unforgettable moments in TNA wrestling.
Right.
How do you bring that charisma back in this day and age when you've done so much and done so many different characters? I mean, I know you're still running with Delete and everything, but how do you bring that magic back to where you're really truly a game changer?
I feel like just there's a lot of things that are really clicking in TNA right now. First and foremost, Joe Hendry has done a great job
Absolutely.
going viral, getting people talking about him. He's great on his social media fronts and whatnot. And the fact that that's happened, the fact that they have had some big names come in. Nick Nemeth is doing a great job as the TNA World Champion. Moose had an amazing run when he was the champion as well. And then you had me come back in, you had Jeff come in, so you have the Hardys there. So it feels like there's a lot of star power, and there's a lot of young, great, talented members of people on the roster, as it is both men and women. So just to be supplemented with these bigger stars, and also in addition to have this crossover now, which is going on between NXT and TNA, that's also very beneficial. And it makes wrestling unpredictable, and that's when pro wrestling's at its best, when you don't know what's going to happen next.
Jedi J, are you able to? Can we hear you? Can we see you?
I hope so.
We can't see you, but we can hear you. So we're going to let you ask them a question. We know you're huge fans, so go for it.
All right.
We can't see you, though. You need to fix that there.
I can see them. Can you guys see me?
Oh, ask the question.
No.
Oh, well. I was just wondering about your and yeah, like Niko said, it's an honor, it's a privilege to have you guys on this show. You guys are the greatest tag team of all time. I will argue with anyone over that, hands down. Okay, but coming back to TNA, I wanted to ask, what was in the process of you guys coming back to TNA, and do you guys see yourselves ending at TNA? They've had a lot of sellout shows. You guys been great. I've seen you guys in person recently, and TNA is on fire. So the process of you guys coming back to TNA just so recently, can you walk us through that a little bit?
I had no idea Matt was going to go back to TNA. I finished working out one morning, and my wife called me in the bathroom and said, "Did you know Matt was going back to TNA?" I said, "No, I had no idea." And then I watched the footage back, and I was like, "Oh, my God, that was really cool." And actually shot Matt a text and said, "Congrats, man. How'd it feel?" And just the way things worked out with my AEW contract, our contracts, it was so crazy, because I was healing from a broke nose, so I had a little more time on mine. But when that contract expired, that next day was the day I could possibly show up to save my brother, and that's just the way it worked out. So naturally, for me, everything feels like it's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. I went to River City Wrestling Con, and something really stuck out to me in Jacksonville. Something really stuck out to me. You had Hall of Famers to the right, Hall of Famers to the left of you, but your line was the one that was 1.5 miles long. Kudos to you guys for being able to keep it going for this long and be able to have that character going. Because as you know, you see people to the right and the left of you, and the line isn't as long, if anyone at all. It made me smile to see a line of 100+ people waiting to meet you guys, and I'm sure it's like that all across. How does it feel to be like kind of? And I'm not taking anything away from TNA. I love TNA, but you're kind of like the big fish in a smaller pond, so to speak. And I'm sure that people are gunning for you to get the name from the Hardys now.
First and foremost, it's very humbling, and it's just extremely flattering that people are still so loyal to us. And I think Jeff and we have really gone out of our way to try and give people a good experience, especially if you're a die-Hardy fan. And you're coming up to meet us. We want you to have a good experience, and we want to hear your stories, and we want to interact with you. It's important to us, because I know without those fans, that loyal fan base, I mean, there would be no us, because they're the people that support us, and they would cheer, and they would yell, and they would buy a show that we were on because we were on it. So we try and keep that going. I feel like we've invested a lot in the fans, and we have a lot of equity because of it. Being at TNA and being the Hardys, someone who is looked at is where does it sounds for me to say like we're a Legends act. We are a Legends act, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's been great. There's people who would want to try and target us or put a bullseye on us so they can make a name for themselves, but we welcome that. We're very confident, and we're feeling very good about what we're doing now, and we are looking to have a great TNA World Tag Team title run. That is our end game right now. That's what we're going to do, and just cement our legacy as one of the greatest teams to ever do this.
That was my next question I was going to ask you. At this point in your careers, is it tag team and just making sure you cement that legacy, or Jeff or Matt individually, do you aspire? Do you see Nick Nemeth walking around and going, you know what? I'd look pretty good with that gold around my belt one more time, you know, or is it to the end? Because you guys are, I mean, as good as it gets, you are a solid tag team and have been for, you know, so long. Is this the goal plan, to just be the best tag team of all time?
Yes, it's strange. When I first saw that Matt returned to TNA, my immediate thought actually was like, oh, well, maybe I'm just supposed to do my solo thing again. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. But then I said, wait a minute, hit the brakes and thought about all of the amazing killer moments and memories that I created both times in TNA in my past. And I had some really great matches and did some really amazing things, some crazy bumps, and survived. So I was like, oh my God, no, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to show up and save my brother in TNA. And that night before I went out through the curtain, I didn't even think about trying to run and do the juke at the same time. I was like, I'm back in TNA and this is going to rock. I've got a painted chair and I'm going to just go out there cool, calm, and people are going to love it. And hearing that Hardy Boys music in TNA, I think was for ever, which was just the cherry on top.
Yeah. Take it away, Jedi J with no face. I swear he's cool.
I'm laughing. I'm cracking up over here. Jeff, your answers have been hilarious. Speaking of, we'll dive a little deeper into TNA. Give us both ends. What's the difference with the promotion from then to now, and how are you guys different? What's your preparation and regimen, or is it all the same?
My little ritual is pretty much all the same. My biggest change and what I do differently now is a little meditation before a match. I've always prayed, but I take time to give my mind a break, and before I go out there and go to war in the ring. And outside of wrestling, outside the ring, ice baths are a lifesaver for me, man. I do them every day. I'm totally addicted to ice baths these days instead of alcohol. And I think to myself, oh my God, if I would have been living this way in my 20s and in my 30s, what would I even be right now? But I live with no regrets and no predictions. But yeah, the healthy lifestyle I'm living is definitely the biggest factor in my career and what's going to make everything the best it possibly can be.
Love to see it. We love to see you healthy. Ice baths. Are you using actual, like, throwing in the ice and plummeting, or do you have one of the machines that drops it down to 30 whatever degrees?
I got tired of that. I finally gave in and bought me a plunge. I got the plunge a couple weeks ago. I love it.
And I have one as well, and it really is. It's been a game changer for me. Just the way my body feels, especially I'm just so beat up, and I have so much scar tissue and just damage to like my lower back and hips and my pelvis area. You know, so that it's been a game changer. I feel better, I move better, and it makes you feel better for the whole day.
Absolutely. We want to take the time and tell you thank you so much for interview. This reminds me of I had the lucky enough to interview Nick Aldis, and he said that he had talked to Dusty Rhodes, and it was just such a big moment for him, but for Dusty it was just like a Wednesday. And this is how we feel. For us, this is like one of the biggest moments of our life, but for you, it's Wednesday. You got another 20 interviews, you got the news station ahead of you, but truly thank you so much for that. You know, I can't
100%.
stop thinking about, we really appreciate it. I can't stop thinking about this match on Saturday in Spartanburg. You know, you're going to beat ABC, let's be honest, on Friday. And then you're going to team up with them. They're going to have a little bit of resentment in them, but you're going to make it all work. And then you're going to have to go against the system. And this one particular guy in the system up in the corner, his name's Moose.
Yeah.
Moose is a monster. Like, we've seen him in person. We had the luxury of interviewing him, former world champion, just lost the belt. Like, when you see a guy like Moose get in the ring, Jeff or Matt, are you like, let me tag Matt in, or let me tag Jeff in? Or are you like, I want a piece of that? How are you at this point in your career?
Yeah, Moose is an intimidating figure, no doubt about it. I think we're ready to, take him on head on whenever we're there. Both myself and Jeff, we're very comfortable with where we're at in our lives and our careers, and just no fear. We're just going head on to whatever challenge might lie in front of us. And on this scenario, it's going to be Moose, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and JDC. And we're really looking to make a statement because at the end of the day, we'll figure it out. Maybe it is who wins this match. Maybe we beat ABC and we become the number one contenders. And then we fight the system at Bound for Glory. But I feel like these are going to be some pivotal, big, consequential Impact episodes that are going to be going down in Spartanburg. And we're hoping they're going to lead us back to the tag team titles.
And I've said this a lot this week for Spartanburg, man. We have 2 or possibly 3 brand new tag team maneuvers that we're going to try to pull off. I pitched them to Matt this morning.
Really?
Felt like they were smooth and very doable. And it's more like a combination of moves we've done in the past, but like just putting them together in a different type of sequence. And so, yeah, but just I'm so glad I still have that excitement in my heart and my brain for the craft of pro wrestling to think up an idea of a new move and follow through with it and see if it works in front of the crowd. It's just so exciting still to me.
It's almost like you're back in the Carolinas and you're in your own personal ring doing your moves like back in the day where you were like, hey, let's try this out. So you guys are really coming up with new moves even at this point in your career. That just blows my mind because I figured you've tried every move out. You've been wrestling together for multiple decades. We'll just say that. That's awesome.
32 years. October 15th will start year 33.
33 years.
And I'm 35, so I've been watching you guys.
There you have it.
This was a really big moment for Jedi J. He's going to be really disappointed that he can't be seen on this camera right now. He's been asking for this interview for a while now. The youngsters in the locker room, now that you guys are, whether you like it or not, you're the living legends. You're the leaders in the locker room as soon as you walk in every locker room. What would you say to those people? I have a lot of followers that are teenagers. They're DMing me. I want to be a wrestler when I get older. What do you say to those people when they ask you, how do I do this? What do I do?
I mean, I think if it's something that you really want to do, you kind of have to learn to make it a lifestyle in many ways, because I would never detour anyone from being a pro wrestler. It's given me an incredible life. It's given my brother an incredible life. I feel like you seek out a place to be trained where you learn what you're doing. And then once you are able to start training and start wrestling and getting out, then you network yourself. You try and meet as many contacts and have as much of a sprawling network as you possibly can have. And then, you every day you eat the right way. You train in the gym the right way. You train in the ring the right way. You sleep the right way. You just make everything a lifestyle, and you really commit yourself to the bit, because I feel like you can kind of half-ass do pro wrestling, but you might just end up being a weekend warrior. If it's something you really want to make a career out of, I think you got to make it a lifestyle.
And I focus big time on like exaggerating the reality to the point of making your opponent look really good and to not be afraid to shine when you sell. The art form that pro wrestling is, it's so important. And my whole career, I've really specialized in the way I sell and to make other people look good and to kind of expand reality to what's really beautiful and believable in the ring, just to entertain the people at the show. And that's my biggest advice is shine when you sell.
Hey, speaking of excelling, you guys seem like you guys got a lot going into the future here at TNA. I see at least a few years left from what you guys are saying. So after you guys take a deep dive as tag team champions, Jeff, are you thinking of the Willow character possibly being a thing again at TNA and possible single competitor runs for belts for the both of you?
For sure, anything's possible. But yeah, as far as Willow, man, that's like I used to, be known as being from the Imagination. Jeff Hardy's Imagination. I think my first single shirt in WWF said that, expand your imagination. But Willow, man, speaking of Willow, there's a mask with a new faceplate design that's ready. I just got to go pick it up, and I'm super excited and kind of nervous as to how it's going to look and fit my head. But with that said alone, there's Willow, when he does emerge in TNA again, it's going to look very different and be extremely better overall.
We're excited. We're right at 20 minutes. So I want to make sure I respect Ross. I want to make sure that he gives me more opportunities. We could interview you for hours. Honestly, we have so many questions for you, but we really want to thank you for the time. Good
Thank
luck
you.
with the rest of your interviews for the rest of the day. I know you got a bunch.
The
Good luck
Hardy
to Steve in
brothers.
Spartanburg. This is truly an honor for us. We are
Thank you,
definitely
guys.
going to be bragging about that. We had the chance to interview the Hardys for a long time now. So thank you
And
very much.
hopefully when you guys get some titles, we get to interview you with the belts possibly.
There you go.
There we go.
We
It's a
want
deal.
you back with the belts. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Go to TNA, get the tickets. Thank you.